demand flow, production planning, all that's being done very effectively remotely. All of our marketing, graphics, PR.
Hmm. Yeah, that's almost you almost need to, other than like the collaborative, come up with the ideas, like just buckling down and getting focused. Yeah, like I know when we're trying to promote the show and stuff, if I'm distracted by all the things, it doesn't happen, which is most of the time. So, being locked down in an apartment by yourself in your pajamas.
Yeah. And I apologize for not getting back to you. Things kept coming up and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then earlier this week I thought it was going to be wide open, and then the governor says, "Okay, we're opening. Everything's opening Friday." It's like, what?
No, it's cool. Yeah, that's the coolest thing about this is like there's really
All right,
there's no pressure on anything.
we are live.
Oh, well, okay. All right, well, let's start the show like live, like people are hearing us.
Yes, we're good to go
Okay.
now.
I like how it always starts this way. All right, I'll hit this button.
Hey, it's noon.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
We're on time today.
All right, I'm hitting buttons.
All right, go for it.
Have we ever been on time? Anyway.
The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
That means it's official. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Liquid Lunch on our regular Thursday at noon time. We still need a name for this, right?
Yes.
Like, there's not, like,
How about the COVID Chronicles?
that's what I've been calling the Interbrews episodes that I've been doing, and that's fine. It's all part of it. It's all part of it, like an epic, ongoing story. The Houston Craft Beer COVID Chronicles series. So now they have to buy. Now we're in two different. It's like we have two different comic book series, and they're going to cross over into a big Avengers series, a movie eventually. Anyway, I don't know. Enough of that. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh. That's Kennedy. You saw him. And we've already wasted too much time to not welcome in our very special guest today, one Mr. Brock Wagner from St. Arnold Brewing here in Houston, Texas, the original craft brewery in the state of Texas, Houston's own. Hello, Brock.
Hi, how are you, Josh? By the way, oldest, not the first. Always have to point that out. We just outlasted everybody else.
Okay, true, yes. Longest running, 27 years, 6 years, 7.
20 next. What are we now? We're just over a month away from our 26th anniversary of the first Kego Amber Ale.
Amber Ale. What was the first account? Was that the Ginger Man?
So we had several first day accounts, and we still go visit them on our every 5-year anniversary that we have. We load up a bus and do a little pub crawl with all the coworkers. It's a great drunken fest. But Ginger Man, Star Pizza, Big Easy, Richmond Arms, and Hops House. All of those accounts took us on the first day, and every account that received beer from us on the first day we were open, and if they are still open, they actually still carry us.
That is remarkable. I mean, think about that. That's to have the same. That's pretty cool. That's cool. I just like that when I think about that. I'm like, yeah. So, good.
It also says something to the longevity of those places.
Yes, and you can only assume that it's all because of St. Arnold.
Well, of course, we take full credit. No.
As we've seen now with the taking of stats and putting them where they need to be, and the news and how you want it to filter, that's the only thing one can assume. So,
I appreciate your interpretations.
All right, that's what I'm here for. Well, let's talk about life. How are things with you personally? How are things at St. Arnold since all of the COVID chronicles began? How are things?
Yeah, I think we all live in a strange world these days. We are doing, overall well. Everybody's healthy. I think that's probably the most important thing. We've had a couple scares where somebody's kid or spouse thought they had COVID-19, but all the tests have been negative. And right now, I think that, to me, that's the biggest victory, is just having everybody safe and healthy. But it's a different world. taking the beer garden and shutting it down to the public, only offering, food and beer curbside to go. That was a huge change. All of our on-premise business, to bars, restaurants, venues, Minute Maid, it's down 98.5% before today. Today actually changed things a little bit, but I'm impressed that we were doing 1.5% of our regular on-premise business. And this is over the past 4 weeks. But we've seen grocery and liquor store sales have actually increased, and they didn't make up for, if you're looking at the big picture, we were up about 20% on grocery and liquor, but combined with our loss of on-premise, our overall production is down somewhere between 15 and 20%. So.
It's just wild. It's like you think about what would be going on normally at this time. It takes you every few days, you kind of have to stop and just really think about what would I be doing right now. I'd be checking baseball scores. Would we be? What are we in? April basketball playoffs? How would who are the Rockets playing right now? I guess hockey's going on. It's too bad we don't have a hockey team, but that'd be going on.
Yeah, the weather has been unbelievable.
Yes.
During this period, and it's been great because during stay-at-home work, I've actually uttered the words, I enjoyed weeding today. I don't believe I've ever said that prior to this, but I have moments where I think about, oh my God, the beer garden right now would be rocking.
Yeah.
Just have to you have to take those thoughts and remove them from your head because they're not productive.
No, they're not, but they're inevitable, right? You can't, like y'all posted a picture on Twitter the other day of the beer garden, just, like it looked like the picture from right before opening. It's like, we have it all clean and ready to go. And one thing that blew my mind, Kennedy, I don't know if you saw this, I saw it on Twitter, that the concrete is in the shape of a hop. And I think everybody's kind of saw it and was like, well, that's true.
No, I didn't know that. I've been there a ton of times. I never noticed.
There's always people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I just want everybody to go look at that picture and take that in.
Before we get any further, hint, Josh.
Yes.
Do have a question for you, Brock. And it's a very important question.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It is a beer show.
Yeah.
And we discussed that a little bit before we went live, but everybody look at your watch and see what time it is.
It's time for your favorite segment and mine here on Liquid Lunch. This is
What you drinking?
Good.
And we need to know, Brock, what are you drinking?
So this art car, it's actually gotten twice as old since we first started talking before we went on the air. We are now at it is 32 minutes old.
Oh,
wow.
Now the downside to that, since I just took it off the canning line, is
it's not cold.
I better bring. No, it's very cold. I better bring the trash can over here for the opening. Well, here, I'll just dangerously do it here. Let's see what happens.
Don't do it. We've had
No, wasn't bad.
We've had a lot of explosions on this show from opening beers.
97% of it Kennedy's homebrew, and the other 3% Kennedy banging them on the table typically because he's so excited.
Wow, it's exciting.
Oh my God, that smells good. Can you smell that?
I wish.
There's almost like I almost feel like I can. Like when I know the smell of art car so well, I put it up in me all the time. So it's I love art car. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, cheers. Kennedy, what are you drinking?
Funny you should ask. I've got a nice St. Arnold Summer Pils.
Oh. Well, I wish I'd gotten the memo.
In my nice St. Arnold glass.
Oh.
I also
got the memo that
I have the summer pills glass. I didn't put it in there.
Oh, there you go.
I should be drinking out of my 25th anniversary glass.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gotten the memo that everybody was drinking St. Arnold. I would have grabbed a St. Arnold pub crawl ale.
Oh,
Oh.
I love this beer too.
golf clap.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna pour it in a glass because I'm I want to be like Brock, but I do have my Santo water, full of water. There you go. Whichever way I'm supposed to turn. But boom.
Yeah.
There you go. There we go. We're all fanning out because St. Arnold is awesome. Oh, and my halo. I've got a halo of St. Arnold over me. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So I've been blessed by St. Arnold himself.
I have a skull behind me. I don't know what that says.
Well, as long as we're talking about St. Arnold gear, I've got my St. Arnold shirt.
Yeah. St. Arnold cleavage. I like it.
You weren't supposed to see that.
Okay. The artwork though, that's the same artist, right? From obviously that's the Santo.
It is. It's Carlos Hernandez. This is actually how I first got connected to Carlos. It was at an art opening, his Day of the Dead Rockstar show at Cactus Music. Probably 12, 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago. And I may have had some beers when I bought this. It is, by the way, 10 foot by 13 foot. And there's not a lot of places, it turns out, that you can put that. But it didn't fit any place I had. That's actually the whole reason that we bought this building and designed our new offices and moved, was so that I could have a place to put this. So, but yeah, Carlos did this, then he did Santo, and then most recently he did our headliner can.
Oh, nice. Yeah, headliner. I love the whole idea behind headliner. I love music and beer go great.
It turns out they go together really well. Also turns out it's tough to do the music part when everybody's being quarantined.
True, but you did stream. You're streaming today, right? There's a concert? Did I see today? Or this week? This weekend.
Saturday night evening. Yeah, we've been doing that. So we've been having fun with that. Everybody has to get a little creative in how you do everything. So yeah, we were discussing that before the show. That I wish I should have hit record before the show, but just because it's always, I love to hear the just the banter or whatever. But
it's a good thing I did.
Oh, so you got all that on record? I listen.
Yes. Yeah, just audio.
Just in case. Yeah. Just in case that gets out. I didn't know you were recording all that stuff.
None of it went out over the air.
Okay. Just
everybody's safe.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, we were discussing
I was going to say, if anybody would like to buy that footage.
We were discussing what we think is going to change, what we think is going to stick around through all of this. We've talked about we were talking about telecommuting and remote work and things like that. As a business owner, I mean, yes, it is St. Arnold. It is the mecca of drinking beer in Houston. It is the beautiful beer garden, but it is a business. And as everybody's been under quarantine and remote working as they can, how much of your staff is under, is remote working versus, people actually in the brew house and stuff like that?
Well, it's split. I mean, we're trying to have as many people stay away and work from home as possibly can. And we've actually been really effective doing that. Mm-hmm. Now, brewers, all of our packaging team, warehouse shipping team, all of the beer garden, the people, cooking and serving food and taking, running the food out to cars for deliveries. Those people have to come into work. Mm-hmm. There's obviously no way to brew beer remotely from home. But and salespeople, they've been doing a great job. I've been concerned about them, but they've had a great attitude going out there, trying to make sure grocery and liquor stores have what they need. there hasn't been much to do on the on-premise side, but they're eager to get back out there and talk to the on-premise accounts now too. So, but accounting, demand flow, marketing, PR. I mean, even stuff like graphics. We've been coming out with some new beers. Germ and Mike will come up with label ideas and shoot them around to everybody. We all look on our computers, give feedback. So there's just we have a lot of groups doing work that way. A lot of Zoom calls. I mean, Zoom is something I've never done before COVID-19, and it's I've actually gotten to enjoy it. We do a lot of work, and then we'll also just do some happy hour stuff. Now, we have, we come up on Wednesday mornings to do R&D meetings because you can't taste beer and test brews remotely and ciders and stuff. So there's still reasons that we come up here, but we're really trying to keep it to a minimum, having everybody wear their masks around the brewery, really trying to stress safety first and make sure everybody's well taken care of, and creating as safe of an environment as we possibly can. Plus you've got challenge. You've got a lot of people who have kids that are at home now, and there's no daycare, and so we have a lot of people trying to juggle those aspects of their lives, and it gets really challenging for the people who are on the production, shipping, beer garden side who do have to come up here.
Yeah, it's we hear a lot about the frontline workers, obviously doctors and things like that, but and automatically think, oh well, yeah, grocery stores too, right? HEB has done just a heck of a job. They've had I have so much respect for that organization. They've had a pandemic crisis team in place since like 2015 or 5, forever, like a very long time, like way back in the day before anybody thought about, oh, this could actually affect us. They were looking at supply chains and all that kind of stuff that other people weren't really thinking about. So kudos to them. But the fact that they've got to get the supplies to the store, that means, salespeople, beer reps are constantly going into grocery stores. So really they're out there in the community, and there is a certain amount of risk going out. So big thanks to your crew and everybody and people in the kitchens and in the beer garden. It's everything we do now. If you're not locked in a bubble like I am in the studio, it carries a risk. So thank you to everybody involved. Thank you, Brock. So
yeah, no, I appreciate everything our team's doing. I've been able to do a combination of a lot of work at home, and I'm actually a person who enjoys work at home. If I actually have tasks I need to knock out, I'm way more effective working from home than I am coming into the office. But at the same time, I do a lot of what I do is walk around and just kind of talk to everybody, check in with everyone, and that's how I find out if there's issues or have little opportunities of things we can be doing. So I miss that part of it. That's a lot harder, but I'm still making sure to come up and do that, just not as much as I would. And not everybody's up here. So.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, if I get close enough to somebody, if I'm within arm's reach, I find it really hard not to like grab them on the shoulder and give them a little love squeeze or whatever. Kennedy knows what I'm talking about. Pat on the butt, whatever. And
it's been so long since you patted me on the butt.
I know, right? It's one of those things where you don't realize how much, and I hear a lot of people in the craft beer community talk like this a lot. People you just saw when you went to the brewery, you're out getting a beer and you have a beer together, and then at the end you give each other, a hug, and it's like, it's good to see you, and then we'll catch up next time over a beer again. And just how much, I think a positive part is we see how much that actually does mean to us and how much it, the effect that does have on us. But man, I sure do miss it right now. And it's tough when you just see people. You just want to You just want to give them a little arm hug or whatever, and you just can't. It's weird.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I was gonna say I really see people as this goes on that lack of social stuff is building, and people really want to get together. I mean, I have a couple close friends that will come over maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, and we'll sit outside at great distance and have beers together just to have some sort of connection, because it's such an important part of who we are as human beings and creatures, and having a beer and shit, there's that ritual that's just been interrupted.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I've found myself heading over to some friend's house here lately, and we all sit in the garage and have garage beers. Chairs 6 feet apart, but we're all there, and it's nice.
now I have enjoyed bicycling to the brewery through downtown. From the trip from Montrose to downtown or to the brewery is not one I would normally think you could take safely, and it's pretty darn easy right now.
Are there any places on the sidewalks and stuff where you can take some sick jumps?
Uh, See, that would not be me. I would take a sick jump. It would be the landing that would be less sick.
Okay.
The sick landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would not pretty.
Yeah. And then cut into your sick time at work.
Yeah.
And so nobody needs
So-
that, I guess.
So we have a couple of questions from our some of our viewers.
Oh.
Matt is asking you, Brock, if you think alcohol to go will stick around.
So beer to go is obviously something that we got last session, and it was something that I wasn't particularly focused on from our business. I was involved in trying to get it passed because I thought it was good for the industry, but I didn't see it as something that we were particularly going to participate in, except on a very small level. Oh my God, thank God we got that passed. I mean, that has been a huge part of our business next door. I mean, it's the only part of our business next door when it comes to beer, since you can't come to the beer garden and drink beer. So that's been really big. As far as restaurants selling mixed drinks to go, and granted they have to do it with the little sealed bottles of tequila for your margarita, at least to do it legally. I've certainly experienced people doing it the legal way and a little bit more renegade. But I would like to see it stick around. I'll be really interested to see what happens with that. I would hate to prognosticate on whether or not that sticks around long term. I would guess it does not, but I think people really come to appreciate it.
Yeah. The governor said, was it today or yesterday, that he, maybe, probably, I don't know.
Well,
So that's
positive.
yeah.
Speaking of the governor, that leads us to our next question from one James Simpson.
Ooh.
He's asking if we can get past Abbott's 3 phases. Will St. Arnold hold their anniversary party in June?
Unfortunately, I see that as highly unlikely. We got notice that the Monday that we could open on Friday, and that first off, I was surprised by that announcement, just given sort of the statistics and everything I've seen. We discussed it internally, and it was unanimous that we don't feel like it is responsible for us to be opening up right at this moment. And I know a lot of people out there feel differently for other reasons, and that's certainly up to leave that call up to everyone. I'm not going to make any opinions on that. But for us, putting our team at risk, we just didn't feel like it was a safe environment yet for guests. We really want to think this through carefully. At some point, I until we have a vaccine, I don't think that things will go back to normal. So at some point, when we do feel comfortable, we're really challenging ourselves. How can we do it? What are sort of the protocols that we can do to create the right environment for people to come in and enjoy our beer garden, which is meant to be enjoyed by people. I mean, I've gone and sat there and had beers by myself looking at downtown, which is both very peaceful and enjoyable and sad all at the same time. But I don't see really large gatherings happening anytime soon. I'm highly concerned about there being a resurgence and a second shutdown occurring, in the next 30 to 45 days. And I think that's going to be almost more disruptive. So we're kind of taking a wait and see, and at the same time sort of think about things that we can do so that when we do open, we can deliver a world-class experience to people and keep our team and our guests all safe. So James, it may be just the two of us, and I won't be able to give you a kiss this time.
That's it. It's always the smoochies are the best. I would say that the outdoor beer garden, though, if there is a place where, given the right amount of spacing, that is hopefully, from what we know, as we can, as we're gathering information, some data from whomever, it does seem like the sun is a good place to be sitting under the sun and outside, and with it getting warmer in Houston and everything, it seems like there's lots.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, I think that's about as good of a situation. Outside we can create the spacing, and we've thought about it inside with the chapels that we have in the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Each of those kind of being their own individual rooms with walls. Those actually lend themselves fairly well. So yeah, those are all things that we're looking at. And yeah, I hope we're in a position where we can be opening up in the near future, but I do not want to do it too early, and contribute potentially to another shutdown. But I am naturally a pessimist on some of these things, and I enjoy it when I get proven wrong.
Yeah. So. Yeah. This is one of those times I'm like you. I think we, from being a dad and just being I don't know, like a homebody kind of is my default situation, setting. I'm kind of like, I probably am weathering the lock-in a little better than others, because I do just kind of like, I'll just stay in for days and be fine. But then once I get out, I realize, oh yeah, I am social. I need to be out amongst people. But I've been watching a lot of old like UFC fights and boxing matches and stuff. And I liken it to when you say you don't want to, let your guard down. That's where we're at. It's like we're doing pretty good with our defense. We're moving, we're bobbing. We got good head movement. We got good foot movement and everything. And we're not getting clipped on the chin. But, the moment you listen to the announcer saying, man, he's winning this fight handily, and you're like, you put your hands down, then you in the jaw right there. And then you're just rocked. And then the rest of the fight, you're on wobbly legs.
Yeah, I just want to be careful. I mean, it's like internally from, just an operation, just a fiscal planning standpoint. We went into this, and my view was this has the potential to last 2 years in some form or another. That is how we will plan. I actually expect there to be a technological advance that shortens it, a vaccine, treatment, something to occur in record time, because I think there's so many, it is in the world's best interest to be focused on this, and there's a lot of great minds focused on solving this problem. Mm-hmm. But again, I would hate to say, I'm sure that they're going to come up with something in the next 6 months, plan on it, and then it draws out 2 years, and then we're in a world of hurt. I'd rather be, hey, this is sort of a worst case. I mean, it's comical when we all think about budgeting that we were doing, late 2019. What was 2020 going to look like? What were we worried about? What were we stressed about? There's things that we were stressed about at the end of last year about occurring this year and executing well. I mean, it's like, it just puts everything into perspective. It's like, it feels like we were worried about just the silliest things in the world.
Yeah, were the Astros was the whole Astros scandal cut into home game attendance? Therefore, is that going to affect people over at the beer garden on game day, or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things. I mean, it was just a weird start of the year. I mean, January started with the whole Astros thing kind of coming out, and being a huge Astros fan. I mean, that actually had an effect on my mood for a little while. But yeah, again, all of that now just seems
kind of meh.
Yeah, just like we were worrying about the little things, and death was not involved.
Yeah, right. That change, it really does kind of puts a spin on everything, because it was like and this goes to show what I've been watching a lot of, like old school, like not just real fighting, but like pro wrestling too, like old school pro wrestling. Go watch some Ric Flair promos if you want to like lift your spirits. Go watch some old school like Ric Flair or Ultimate Warrior promos. That'll get you charged up for the day. But it was like the Astros were getting ready to do a full on heel turn. We were going to be full on bad guy. We were going to go all black uniforms, slick our hair back, grow the 5 o'clock shadow, typical heel stuff, and then everything got shut down. And then when it comes back, a la pro wrestling, you don't even have to worry about the past. You just start anew. Like, oh, he was gone for 6 months. Now he has a whole new name.
Yeah.
So the Astros are in the clear. It's fine. Now that I say that, I'm keeping it in people's consciousness. I think everybody is. Yeah. Are there Astro fans watching? Big shout out to let's see, Gail, just on, Danny, Bruce. Hey, Bruce. Brock McRock, not to be confused with Brock on the screen, but thanks to both y'all. Justin, Jason, how are things in Austin? Tom, is Tom still over in Beaumont, Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay, hey to Beaumont, and Humble. I think we got the whole state. We said Beaumont, Austin, and Humble. That's like the whole state, right? So
pretty much.
The last few shows, though, Brock, we've been literally nationwide, like ZZ Top.
We've been coast to coast for sure.
Yeah, Florida, Seattle,
Florida and Seattle.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah, we have a wide swath of people wanting to hear all about the beers.
Well, my lovely girlfriend Jules usually hops on, but she was feeling a little under the weather today, which is allergy related, not coronavirus related. People, I think, forget that we're in the middle of allergy season right now, and it's bad out there.
Forget that.
You really do have to. Every time you cough or clear your throat, you have to. It's like now, so like if you're in public, you have to say, "No, it's not COVID. It's allergies." It's that whole meme about farting to cover up your cough is true. That's true. Question, Brock. I know for me personally, I've been drinking more beer lately because I've had more opportunity to do so, with lunch, with dinner, snack in between, snack afterward, and then just one because they're delicious. Like, oh, it's 1 o'clock, let's have a beer. It's noon, we're doing a show, let's have a beer. I've been drinking more lower ABV things, similar to like summer pills. A lot of summer pills in this house. Pub crawl ale. What have you seen the most sales of with the Togo?
So what we've seen the most sales are probably new beers, Juicy IPA, Headliner. When Pink Caddy came out, we tore through all of that. Now that Sabroken just came out, and the Rosé Cider, those have both been selling a lot. So kind of new has been big for me. So I've certainly been drinking some of the lower ABV stuff. But one of the things that I've discovered is I've actually been drinking more of the high ABV stuff. I've also been probably just drinking more, period. That has definitely been effective to stay at home. But, when I'm out, I drink a ton of lawnmower, and I love the beer. And, I love it's kind of the whole ode to the Herzberg hop that beer is. But also, it's a lower ABV beer, relatively speaking. And when I'm out and I don't want to make a fool out of myself, if I'm driving, I'm going to limit myself to just a couple beers. And so lower ABV is sort of the name, the name of the game for me. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm staying at home, I'm drinking a lot more Art Car. Juicy does not cheat you either. Mm-hmm. So I've been drinking a lot of both of those. But when Summer Pills comes out, that gets into the heavy rotation. So, yeah.
That beer is so good. Yeah, we were saying before the show, I had my warm up music, and it was the OJ best of the OJs, and Love Train came on. I feel like just that opening riff, if that can had a speaker in the bottom, it'd be playing Love Train or some OJ song, just bright, sunny, good stuff.
I completely buy that. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way to do like a cheap disposable speaker.
Well, if there's ever a time to figure it out, while we have our stay at home, that's when somebody's going to figure that out.
Yeah, it's got to be a thing, right? I mean, stuff. I don't know. Maybe we won't be getting it over from China. I don't know where we get it manufactured. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, manufacture it here. That's one thing that we're learning.
Yeah, that's okay for like cans and stuff. Where do your cans and bottles come from? Are they're
domestic? Yeah. Actually, some of the bottles come from Mexico. But primarily we're domestic. The only things that are international are malts, and some of the malts and some of the hops. But hops, we typically get those in crop year shipments. So we'll get an entire crop year in, and then we store it in at 0 degrees. A lot of it is stored off-site locally here, and we just pull it in as we need it. We rent space at a frozen food warehouse. But malt, we did actually have a container of malt that got stuck, German Pils malt that got stuck at the Port of Houston when there was a COVID-19 case, and they shut the port down for a couple days. So there have been some very interesting disruptions, but for the most part, our supply chain has been solid.
Okay. Has anybody looked into Star San and its effect on the virus, and if we can just bathe the world in Star San or something along those lines, just foam it all up?
Yeah, please don't make any comments about drinking sanitizer or bathing.
It doesn't taste good.
Yeah,
it's not good.
No.
But it'll clean you out too.
Yeah.
Question from one of our viewers, Brock. How has business been affected in other states?
So we're just Texas and Louisiana, and the vast majority of our business is Texas. Louisiana, so New Orleans got hit really hard early on, and there was a period of, was it 2 weeks? 2 or 3 weeks that our distributors in Louisiana did not take shipments, because our shipments all go to they go into New Orleans and then get distributed, and so they weren't bringing anything in. So we actually had some out of stock issues in Louisiana for a brief period, but that's been rectified.
Kenny, are you going to address the other questions?
Yeah, let me address some of the other ones. One, Alex Porter of Southern Yankee wants to know when you guys are going to be doing the next collaboration.
Well, you never know. Yeah, we periodically have conversations with people. Yeah, I've not been the yeah. I love having beers with friends from other breweries and talking about things, but I still haven't completely figured out what collaborations are most of the time. But um, I'm a little curmudgeonly there. I, I think people have figured that one out by now.
I think it's just an excuse to have fun, right? I don't know.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's we will do collaborations, but they're not kind of one of our primary focuses, and which is sort of funny because internally, I describe us as a highly collaborative organization. We challenge everybody here to come up with ideas for beers, and we share things and talk about stuff. Things do not come from a single person. And that's why sometimes we will come out. I mean, I love doing our not a collaboration that we did not do with Brash.
Right, but that's not. You're not.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you didn't do. That was right. It was not one.
It actually wasn't a collaboration either, because legally we couldn't. So we just said, "Hey, we're each going to do a hazy IPA," and we ran with it from there, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
All right. Another question from one Sylvia Benavides, one of our favorites. Any future satellite tap rooms coming?
It's certainly a possibility. It is something that is of interest to me. But at the moment, I think we're mainly focused on getting through the coronavirus thing.
That is really one of the. I mean, when you think about something that is utterly just paused, like the thought of another place where people can sit together and have beers, which is a beautiful thought and a beautiful thing. It just can't. It's like not. Reality said no. It's so no right now, and it's like that's hard. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a little weird, a little disheartening. Yeah, I read an article. It was actually a fairly annoying article about how businesses should have been better prepared for this pandemic. And it's like, well, if we all sat around, like the decision that we would have made if we knew the pandemic was coming would be we should not build the beer garden. That would be the logical decision, which I'm super happy we built the beer garden. I mean, it was something I'd always wanted to do, kind of fulfilled, the big part of my vision for what I hoped St. Arnold would be one day, and actually never thought would ever occur. But we would all just sit at home and not do anything if we thought, if this is what we thought was coming. Now, there's probably some lessons about not over leveraging, and the businesses. I actually think that we're going to see many fewer businesses close than some of the numbers we're hearing bannered about. I think that most of the ones that do close are ones that were probably on the bubble anyway, might have closed even without this. I think most business people are pretty creative and survivalists. And when something like this comes in, you make changes and you survive. And that's what we all do. May have to work harder and make some decisions that are really hard. But I think businesses survive. I mean, economics works. Capitalism is, the greatest system out there. It needs to be a somewhat regulated capitalism, otherwise you just end up with monopolies. But yeah, I am definitely a capitalist.
Yeah, I think for the next few years at least, until everything gets shook off, it's going to take a little bit. I think maybe fewer businesses opening just because people are waiting to have a little more cash on hand and a little sturdier of a base as opposed to just jumping out there with both feet like we had been.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, a little more cautious approach, at least for, I don't know. You can't. It's hard. Business. Somebody who wants to open a business and is an entrepreneur, they have that passion. So maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 years until they're like, we should be good, and then just boom, all out again.
There's probably also going to be some opportunities out there for people, coming out of this too. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But I mean, overall, the pandemic has been an awful thing. But I think people are resilient, and frankly, I'm actually more concerned long term about the price of oil for being a business in Texas than I am anything else.
Yeah, that's one that I don't know. How do you even wrap your mind around that? Like, what was it, like negative $32 a barrel?
Yeah, I took a photo of the paper for posterity the day after that, where it showed the price of oil. Said price of oil $10, change in price increase of $42. That's gonna, yes, at some point in the future, show that to someone and they're going to just scratch their head. What?
Yeah.
$42 price increase if it ended up at $10.
Yeah,
but,
I wish it.
I would say I graduated from college in 1987, and I saw what happened to Houston after the oil bust in the mid 80s, and it was brutal. And I think our economy has definitely diversified, but it's still something that, I think being conservative for an extended period is going to be wise right now for anybody in Texas.
Yes, agreed. And I don't know. You look at like how things are being made. Again, this is me. I don't know anything, so this is just me saying words that I hope make sense. But when you look at things like Tesla and like, I don't know, when I look at this whole thing, I'm like, all right, this is ushering in somebody's going to push hard to do drone delivery, right? When you think of groceries and things like that, what has been this part in the supply chain or in the mechanism that's been hardest hit, or the hardest part to overcome? It's people, right? Because people get sick, and obviously computers get viruses, I guess, too. Shut down a drone, but I think there's going to be a big push on that. Somebody with a lot of smarts and a lot of money. So it's not me, but somebody. I think that'll be a big change that'll happen, 5-10 years down the road, especially. We'll look back and be like, whoa. But I don't know. And we don't have gas-powered drones, I guess, is the only thing I was going to try and tie that back in. So electric cars, I don't know.
The thing that keeps me bullish on what we do is, there is no substitute for, beer and social gatherings and people being together. Those are things that you can't replace with some, making beer at home. You can make beer at home, but your computer can't just make you a beer for you. And so I see production of things like what we do and the craft aspect of it. I think that you may long-term see more people do Zoom type events with families across the country. I think that may actually be an outcome that I think we've gotten a little bit more used to Zoom happy hour gatherings. I think people are going to be so excited to get back together when they can get back together, so that I don't see it replacing it on a local basis. But I do see families and friends that can't get together physically because of distance, using that long term, and drinking a beer. I mean, we've done a lot of that during this period.
Yeah. One thing that I have a lot of, Zoom happy hours. We've done one here on Liquid Lunch. And they're fun. They're fun to talk, somebody else sitting in their backyard or whatever. But maybe one thing that we haven't capitalized on yet is, we always think, okay, beer's delicious, but let's add some. Everybody, all right, queso and beer party. Everybody, we're going to start small. Everybody's going to make some queso together, and we're all going to see who's putting what in. Oh, you got chorizo. Oh, you got, fresh cilantro. I think we should. Queso party. Does that sound cheesy?
Boom.
That was the longest setup for a dad joke I've ever
I
heard.
didn't even mean to. It just flows out. And I
Yeah,
realized
okay.
I was rambling on about queso too long because I can do that. I mean, who doesn't love queso?
Oh, Brock, speaking of things, and you need to help me out with this one, Brock. Josh absolutely loves to talk about his lawn. Any chance he get, he'll talk about his lawn. And you guys are currently having a lawn contest.
Yes,
We need to get Josh to enter this lawn contest.
absolutely. Yeah, one of the things we're trying to figure out is like, what do we do in the times of coronavirus? Community is like it's my big passion, and community is even more important during times like this. So how we challenge ourselves, how can we kind of create some community during this time? So, we did the rebranding of Fancy Lawnmower beer that just came out in the past month. And so we decided to do a fancy lawn competition, since people are spending a lot more time at home and a lot more time landscaping and working in their yard. And I know certainly I've been doing that. So people have been eager to send us photos of their yards, and we pick some winners, and we deliver a nice case of fresh Fancy Lawnmower beer and a pink flamingo for your yard.
That's beautiful. We went outside this morning. I've got this big, it's a tricolored butterfly bush. And I don't mean like the one that has, I don't know if you guys are up on butterfly bushes, but there's some that have the pink and the purple and the white cones. But this one, actually, the actual cone is like tricolored. It's pink into purple into yellow. And yeah, it's super cool. And it's like we've got one or two big cones that are about to pop, but then you got like 8 or 9 that are all about to pop on the top. And this thing's big too. It's taller than my fence, so like 7 feet tall. And then I've got another tree that's going to have like blue cones all over it. And then the jasmine's popping right now with all the flowers.
It smells so good.
Yeah, so that's my whole back fence. And when that photo time gets perfect, that's when I'll send in my photo. I'll just post it for the world to see.
Looking forward to it. Well, and the weather this morning was amazing. I was sitting out there a long time this morning drinking my coffee.
Yes. How do you take your coffee? Straight?
Black.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get the good coffee. Got to grind the beans fresh and make a nice pot of coffee.
You just drip?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been experimenting with coffee pour over. I think makes a smoother cup of coffee. It's a little more labor intensive. You got to weigh out, the ratio and everything. And I don't know. It's a fun ritual, but yeah, just a pot of coffee.
Yeah, ritual is important, but my problem is before I had my pot of coffee, it's really hard for me to do too much ritual.
Yeah.
It's just the other morning I turned the coffee pot on. 30 seconds later, it beeped that it was done. I was like, what? Oh, crap. I forgot to put water into it. So
Been there.
Those are the kinds of things that happen before I have my coffee.
I'm the same way. It's a definite weakness. It's when I'm talking about my boxing defense before coffee, forget it. Just forget it.
You're going to take one on the chin.
I'm just going to get beat down in the corner. So I should just stay on the mat. I should have stayed in bed. Let's see. We got, let's see, Jeremiah from Oklahoma. Who else did I see on here? Henry from Louisiana. So, man, we're getting, how many more states do we need?
We had somebody from Denver on a second ago.
Oh, that's we've got like 5. So we only need like 45 more.
Justin from Denver.
Oh, hey, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
Thanks
and
Brock, in every way, man.
Yeah, we're all over the place. And Brock, Adam Cryer from Baleson Brewing Company is letting us know that he is currently enjoying a Springbok.
Ah, excellent. Well, thank you, Adam.
Said he loves that beer.
That is a good beer too.
He's intelligent and good looking.
Yes.
It's like everybody enjoys our beers.
Yes, he is one handsome man.
What else do you like about him, Kennedy?
I don't know.
As long as we're talking about him, you like how he looks in jeans?
I mean, I don't dislike it.
Okay. Sweet.
I haven't seen Adam in a while.
No. Oh, we got St. Louis on Missouri. There we go. So now we're 44.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know anybody in Montana? I feel like it's gonna be a tough one. Okay.
Yeah.
We got East Texas in the house, Finette, Texas.
Well, there you go. Oh, we got Billy from 3 doors down from me. So we got the rest of my street.
Of course, we have Danny from Wichita Falls, longtime fan of the show.
Yeah.
The real question here is everybody wearing pants or not today?
Oh. Well, I currently am, but that's because I have to leave for work here in a little bit. Typically, I would not be wearing pants. Kennedy, pants?
I have pants today. I've done a few shows without pants.
Yeah.
Today I decided to wear them.
If you haven't Zoomed or Skyped without pants, then you haven't really done it.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, just remember that before you stand up.
Yes.
The problem with a lot of my Zoom meetings or these Skype meetings, you're drinking beer, and after like 3 or 4, you got to get up and go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is once you get up and go to the bathroom, that's the telltale sign that you're not wearing pants.
Well, or you get really good at sliding off to the camera.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And make sure that the camera's not like aimed back at the door to the pathway to the bathroom.
It doesn't really work with my setup because the door is like literally there. It is. It's right behind me, and the bathroom is right beyond that door. So I got to remember that. Get up, shut that door, before I go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's you want to go wall behind you. Side lighting. You don't want a window behind you. Then you just become a silhouette. You look like a 2020 cold case file witness or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, any more questions? Have we seen any more questions there, Kennedy? I haven't been scrolling through. Thank you everybody who's watching today and sharing.
Yeah.
Hey Jules, I know that you're supposed to say that, Kennedy, but hey Jules, and all right, cool. What was my other question? It left me. Foamy Head 13 watching on YouTube. Oh, he said he was drinking a Hefeweizen right now, an Allstott Hefeweizen, because he didn't want to dig into his barrel-aged Pumpkinator. That's one thing. I've cleaned out my entire Divine Reserve collection. I had a lot, and now I don't.
Have you cleaned out your Pumpkinator?
No, I've been saving. I've got one from every year of Pumpkinator, including the the rum barrel and the bourbon barrel aged versions, and there was the Bishop's Barrel, the Rumpkinator. I think that was it. I'd have to go back and look at that. The only one I don't have is the DR9.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, but
yeah, that beer. When you look at barrel aged beers, and and I preach to everybody to store them cold. Don't put them in your closet, but stored cold, they have kind of a lifespan, and I found typically around 5 years they kind of tend to flatten out. Every once in a while you'll find one that holds up. The Pumpkinators, interestingly to me, have held up better than most big beers, and we've got back to DR9, but the early Pumpkinators are still tasting really good. Actually, I like to drink Pumpkinator best when it's 1 to 2 years old. Those spices have kind of rounded out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like it fresh, but most beers I actually like to drink best fresh, not aging it. But Pumpkinator is probably the one example that I like just a little bit of age on it.
I agree. I am in total 100%. Like I got that. If somebody would have asked me 1, 2 years, I say that every year. Get some, drink one now, put a couple back, and hopefully you had some from last year.
Yeah.
Jose, listening on the audio side of the stream, wants to know if you're ever going to do the 20th anniversary beer again.
You know what? It's certainly possible. I mean, we brewed it again and made it one of the threads that we put into the 20th anniversary Grand Cru. And we have some of that that is actually of the 20th anniversary, that same barley wine, not from 20th anniversary, but the same recipe that we put in bourbon barrels that there'll be a little bit packaged and released in June during our anniversary month. But that'll be a very, very small release.
That Grand Cru, I had some of that like 1 week into the pan. I just needed it. I needed it was one of those beers that was kind of a therapy session in a snifter. It was perfect at the time, and it was so good. That beer was so good.
That beer is really elegant, and it kind of almost to me has a little bit of that, like the balance you experience when you have a great French Bordeaux as opposed to a California Cab, which is all about bright, intense flavors. It's not to say that Grand Cru doesn't have a lot going on in it, but it just has such an elegant balance to it. I love that beer.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get to try that, Kennedy?
The Grand Cru?
Yeah, we had some on the show, I believe.
Yeah, I believe you and I, when we did the last Interbrews interview at St. Arnold, sat in the tap room and drank one.
Oh yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I've also had probably a couple more commitments than I should have had. That I've really been enjoying that beer too, but 13.5%, and it's pretty challenging to make a 13.5% beer that's really nice and drinkable. But I find that one about the most drinkable 13.5% stout I've ever had. It's good, but you have one and you want another. From experience, I would like to say that the second one that might be gilding the lily.
Yeah, you need to do like quarter bottles, like just little. I don't know, like just for the second one, right? Like tag it onto the side.
Yeah, a little.
Yes, just a little extra. It's like you just want to. Yeah, man, that's a fantastic beer, and it's one of those things. Like when you sit there and I don't know, it's like it brings up memories, like wherever those barrels were. It's like it's all soaked into that beer. There's more layers to that, Brock. I don't know, layers of flavor, but there's something else going on. Something else. Something mysterious.
Yeah, Vicky, one of our top fans, is watching right now, and she has Pumpkinator going all the way back to 2012, and they're all sitting in her refrigerator. And now she's finally, because of this, getting around to drinking those things.
Yeah, the early ones, I'd probably, they're not going to be getting any better. Yeah.
So Vicky, open up that 2012 and drink it.
I will say,
today,
if you're waiting, well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, what else you got to do?
Yeah,
you've already drank away your lunch hour. It's time just to the rest of the afternoon's a wash.
Yeah.
I'll say that if we get out about the time we get out of all of this, like not all of it, but to a point, and the fall's rolling around, and that's about when Pumpkinator typically comes out mid-October or so. Yeah. This Halloween, I don't know if anybody's looked at the calendar. I think it's on a Saturday. It's a full moon. You get an extra hour of sleep that night, and as long as the weather holds up, it's like a recipe for just I don't know, a bath in Pumpkinator.
Yeah, the stars are aligning.
Yeah, it might be the thing we need to kill off the virus. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Well, I'm looking at what time is it? Is it 1:00 already?
Yeah, it's 1:00. It's past 1.
No, this hour has flown by. All right, so I should go ahead, Brock.
What?
Oh, I was gonna say really quickly, Brock. Do you want to mention your how to get to-go orders and stuff from?
Yeah, you can do it online and or you can call in. If you do it online, you can do the payment and everything, and it can be completely a touchless experience. And we're open 7 days a week from 11 to 8 p.m. every single day. We have specials like this weekend. We have the Guten Tag Beef Stroganoff family pack, which I have ordered one of those for myself. So we're having a lot of fun with that. We've been coming out with some special beers that you can only get at the beer garden. So, the beer garden has always been kind of a nice little place for us to experiment and play around with things before they get released to the greater world. But now that we're packaging those things, since we don't have the beer garden itself open, so get a chance to come out and try that and get great fresh beer, great food, and feed your family, feed your soul.
Weather report for this weekend: sunny, high today 81, sunny tomorrow, high of 86, and partly cloudy through the weekend. No rain, but just warm and sunny. And gas is so cheap, you need to get out, go drive to St. Arnold, and get some food and beer. And, I don't know, drive around and eat.
Yeah, say hi. Say hi to our guys. We love seeing y'all. We miss everybody.
Yeah. It's good to see folks. So everybody get out there and get some good food, get some great beer, get some togetherness, a little bit, fist bumps through the window or a wave or however you like to do it now. And
little foot tap, which is hard to do when you're in a car, but
foot tap.
Put it on cruise control.
It's very awkward. That seemed like great ideas in the car, but turned out to be really awkward. So
yeah, you could do the Chinese fire drill. Isn't that the one where everybody runs around and then if you let it roll, isn't that was called something for a little while? That was the thing for a minute where people would jump out of the car.
Do not let it roll. Do not go to St. Arnold and let it roll.
What was that called? It was called something. There was a whole song about it.
Yeah, they put on their cruise control like really low, and they get out of their car and run right next to it.
Yeah, and you dance a little bit.
Yeah.
Forget what that's called.
Anyway. You know what it's called? A bad idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Fine. But ghosting? No, it's not ghosting. Ghosting is what I'm about to do at the end of the show when I just turn it off. It was called something. Now it's going to bother me.
Yeah.
I have to go look it up. There was a thing. Anybody know?
If only we had a device that we could look up these questions on.
Yeah.
I know, right? Maybe in the future. We'll see. All right. Well, we'll wrap the show there. Brock, thank you, sir, so much for being on this episode of Liquid Lunch. I'll extend the invitation. We're doing shows a lot, so anytime you need to, get something off your chest or get the word out to the masses, we're here for you.
I appreciate it. We'll keep up the good work, guys.
All right,
thank you,
thanks.
sir.
All right, I'm going to hit some music real quick here, Kennedy. Everybody, thank you for listening today. Share the show, throughout the day. If you appreciated it and liked it and enjoyed it, share it, and we'll see you back again. I guess, what are we doing next week? Monday, Tuesday?
Everybody send us your lawn photos too, if you want to be in our competition, especially you, Josh. I want to see this butterfly bush.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you my bush, a picture of my bush, and we'll.
You just got called out by Brock.
I did. I'll send it.
You have to enter the contest now.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. I got my fertilizer out just a couple, like last week. That 3-1-2 ratio. Perfect time for it. Another 4 weeks until the pre-emergent herbicide. Everybody be thinking about that. So get that St. Augustine.
We are for sure going to be here on Monday. We're going live Monday. There's no way we can miss the Star Wars show again.
Oh, okay. All right.
May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you. All right. Cool. All right. Well, somebody called you Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Obrock 1 was Jason Pitts. So anyway, for the Obi,
I've been called worse, so I'll take
that. for the Obi-Wan of Houston and Texas craft beer, and for the Han and Chewbacca, I'll let you decide which ones we are for yourselves. We'll stop the show there. All right. Thanks, Brock. Thanks, Kennedy. Thanks, everybody, for watching the last little bit of music here. We'll hit it there. And everybody go get some beer to go. Support your local breweries wherever you are, since everybody is watching across the nation and the state. And, everybody hang in there. We'll get through it with good beer and friends and Zoom and Liquid Lunch. All right. Thanks, Brock.
Thanks, Brock.
Thanks, Kennedy.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. See you Monday.
The preceding has been been a presentation of Stewed Productions.
We should do